privileged to be here. I'm Dean Aragon. As you can see in the slide, I'm the brand guy of Shell. And I get it. This is the Web Summit, and I suppose I could have shared with you a lot of our digital and social innovations. But upon reflection, I decided that there's something a little more fundamental. An incredible privilege is to be able to be given a chance to take the reins of this incredible brand that's over 100 years old. And I've sold a lot of consumer brands in my 30-year career, but I've never really handled a fundamentally B2B brand. And I realize that I stand on the shoulders of giants who came before me. And rather than talk about the latest platform, the latest digital innovation, I wanted to talk about the fundamental underpinning of how we are re-engaging our customers, our stakeholders, or our consumers with this brand, which is to humanize the brand. But here's the thing. A lot of people talk about humanizing the brand, but it's virtually impossible to humanize the brand if you don't humanize the customer, the consumer, that stakeholder. If you pretend that that customer is 24/7 a customer and not a real person, not a real human being, I would go on to argue that it's nearly impossible to begin that process if you don't start with yourself. I mean, are you gaming it when you enter your building? Are you unable to humanize yourself? Well, in my case, I will always be that Filipino boy growing up in the streets of Manila, deeply passionate about his rather large family. I have 5 kids, my wife has 6. And now, for the avoidance of doubt, the lady inside the picture frame is not a member of my family. For the Brits out there, that would be strange. But a lot of what I do in my work is channeling what I believe in, what my passions in life are, what my values are. Nothing could be more human than to have a sense of purpose, a sense of direction. What's your reason for being? But I won't bore you with sort of the words that we use to articulate our Shell purpose. What I want to talk about is how we've brought it to life through the platform, our branded platform of Make the Future, and how we have enabled bright energy ideas, bright energy innovators or startups to come to life in real action and in some small way help that idea do some real good to some people. This is how Make the Future began, with a story in Rio. Let's play that film. So maybe you can help me play that film.
De manhã e não tem hora, né? São coisas assim, tá calmo hoje, daqui a pouco há uma questão de luz para ser resolvida, e enfim.
A gente quer saber que pelo menos tem dentro da comunidade alguma coisa que eles podem se ocupar. Aí se ocupar de alguma coisa para não estar fazendo nada errado. Para que a mãe e o pai estejam ali sabendo o que os seus filhos estão fazendo.
Every step you guys take on one of our tiles will convert your weight, just that small amount of movement, into electrical power.
Dia eu quero andar por cima para ver como que é.
For the first time, we give a kickoff of one soccer field who gonna bring the light for the new generation. This is fantastic, I thank God to be here in this moment, to be part of this.
Eu acho muito legal. Eles criam ele, né? E é uma coisa tão legal.
Formidável as crianças pensarem que ao impacto do seu jogando bola, correndo, pisando,
a gente aprendeu que a energia vem do planeta, do sol, do vento e da gente.
What if your idea could change the world?
Thank you. I never get tired of watching that because it reminds me of how it all started. But if I were to codify what we've done there, I would argue that it's about how we reverse the syntax, like in sentence construction. And many companies, many brands for that matter, fall into the trap of figuring out or assuming that they and their business and what they want to talk about needs to be the subject of that sentence rather than the predicate. And it's the equivalent of a comedian who wants you to think he or she is funny, and instead of cracking a joke with a killer punchline, he or she would say, look guys, I'm funny. And we all know that that isn't funny. So how do we remind ourselves in our work, and this is the mandate I've been given together with the team, to keep on reminding ourselves that it's about them and not us. It's not about what you want to talk about. It's not about starting with your business. It's not about starting about what you're great at doing. You wouldn't do that in real life. So how is it that what you know will never work in real life, in social interactions, you pretend works in the context of a business, in the context of a marketing endeavor? So encouraged by what happened in the Rio Favela initiative, we said, well, we are now crystal clear about what Make the Future is all about. So let's reach out to other energy startups, other partners, other energy innovators. And so we did. And so we built this whole campaign of Make the Future around that. And today I'd like to talk to you about GravityLight. And one of the energy startups which we help put into action, especially in a country where there are many people, many communities who are still not connected to the sources of electricity. They don't have access to regular power. And you know how regular access to power, to things like lighting, can really transform lives. Now, this is the GravityLight story. Let me play that film.
It causes problem to the baby. Breathing is the problem.
Nilikuwa natutumia mafuta ya 50 shillings.
Is there a way to make light and power without batteries? GravityLight has a bag which is full of rocks. If I pull this cord, the bag comes up off the ground and we create light as the bag comes down.
It's been 4.5 years in the making.
It uses the force of gravity.
Has the potential to lift people out of poverty.
So kudos to Shell for funding GravityLight to help try to make the world a brighter place.
Hiyo taa ina umuhimu wa maana sana. Itanifaidi kwa kija mtoto wangu kusoma vizuri na bahari.
Thank you very much. And so we're staying the course. In a few weeks, we're going to make an announcement about how we can convert energy from waste coffee grounds through another startup partner called BioBean. And please tune into that. There'll be more on that later on. But the other thing that we're really having to contend with is this whole perception that having joined predominantly B2B company in Shell, I'm often told, well, I get it, you're from Unilever, you sold a lot of shampoos and deodorants in your past, but what does it have to do with B2B businesses? And, I have to say, okay, I get it. It was pretty intimidating when I launched myself into my new adventure in Shell. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's all business to humans. It's all B2H. Again, unless you're pretending that that person across the table is for some reason a business person, a consumer, a procurement director 24/7, then you are absolutely not acknowledging that there is a human in there. And that job with which you're dealing in a particular business does not define that person. And therefore, how do we connect and engage with human beings in something that is not about gaming it, but really being very genuine and trying to find that common ground where your passion points, your life aspirations converge? This is indeed very early days. By no means am I here to celebrate and do a lot of high fives with my team. But it is very encouraging that very early on in our journey, we're getting a lot of, I would say, encouragement from a variety of sources. I mean, towards the end of 2016, some of the headlines from Advertising Age, even in my Unilever days, would have been highly unusual. But in the energy sector, I would argue it's almost unimaginable. But we were getting incredible views, but rather than stand here and talk to you about so much that we've achieved, I would say that we really need your encouragement for us to stay the course. So if any of you out there have some idea about how the future of energy might be defined, if you know some energy startups or energy inventors or innovators, please, we're open for business. And we want to listen to your ideas and help you put them into action. And that's really what I want to share with you. And I want to end with a video that, if you didn't understand anything that I said, hopefully it gives you a fuller sense of what Make the Future from Shell has been all about. Can we play that last film, please? And thank you again for listening to me. I hope you have a very wonderful afternoon. Can we play the last film, please? Oh, the last one.
To the baby. Breathing is the problem.
Eu cobro muito das crianças estar inserido no futebol para não estar vendo coisas erradas na nossa comunidade.
Billion people live without electricity. Is there a way to make light power without batteries?
Every step you guys take on one of our tiles will convert your weight, just that small amount of movement, into electrical power. Shell had the idea of rebuilding the football field in the Morro da Mineira favela using these kinetic tiles and solar power.
GravityLight has a bag which is full of rocks. If I pull this cord, the bag comes up off the ground and we create light as the bag comes down.
It uses the force of gravity.
Has the potential to lift people out of poverty.
So kudos to Shell for funding GravityLight to help try to make the world a brighter place.
Hiyo taa ina umuhimu wa maana sana. Itanifaidi kwa kija mtoto wangu kusoma vizuri na mahali.
the future.
Make the future.
Construir o futuro.
Make the future.
What if your idea could change the world?
Thank you very much, Dean, and that's a great example of how we connect with consumers, whether they're in business, government, or retail consumers. Thank you again, Dean Aragon, for that great case study. As communicators, many of us are used to being behind